Hello, everybody. This is my review of the Bloodbeer story. Here's a summary. Joel and Teddy were best friends since childhood. They both got along great. Both were from single parent homes. They're both generally good kids. They got in trouble sometimes. Joel was able to easily acquire alcohol once they got to high school because of how old he looked. The two then started drinking a little, and then a little bit grew into a lot. They went through high school. Neither of them went to college. They got simple jobs such as pizza delivery boys or gas station attendants. Joel began to drink more and more. He began drinking beer and then went on to start drinking hard liquor. Teddy, since he was a good friend, recognized this and tried to help his friend start to drink less. And his hopes were to get him to eventually just stop drinking. The two's friendship began to unfold and ultimately ended. Joel got a job as a janitor at nighttime, which was a job he could be drunk at. He figured that as long as he got the job done, it didn't matter if he was drunk or not. He got later was arrested for a DUI, which resulted in a suspended license. After his license suspension was up, he got another DUI. After that, Joel found solace at church, where the priest offered him a place to stay while he recovered from his addiction to alcohol. Joel became much better and eventually stopped drinking. Teddy, on the other hand, had a completely different life. He moved away, had a decent job, was married, and actually had a child. The two were finally came together again at their high school's 15-year reunion. Teddy, who usually did not drink too much, drank a lot that night. He was so drunk, in fact, that he was unable to drive. So Joel offered to drive him home that night, and Joel was not used to driving Teddy's car, which was a hybrid. He couldn't tell the speed he was going because he was not used to not being able to hear the engine. And Joel, at one point, crashed the car into a tree. The passenger side, which is where Teddy was sitting, was basically destroyed up against the tree, and Teddy passed away that night. Joel was charged with vehicular manslaughter. Joel's lawyer tried to find a way to prove a blood alcohol test to be wrong because that night the BAC test showed that Joel was actually drunk. The answer to this problem for the lawyer was in vivo fermentation. This was seen previously in a case where a diabetic with a yeast infection in his body or bladder produced ethanol as a byproduct of fermentation. This is the same process that beer is made, so this would give off a false test if this were true. An enzyme, substrate, and oxygen source are all needed, which would ultimately end in the results of alcohol or the presence of alcohol. Joel's lawyer argued this feverishly, and the 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 hope was false. Joel was free of ethanol at the time of the accident. Another variable was low molecular weight drug. The test proved that Joel was in fact drunk that night, squashing the hopes of his lawyer. Joel was sentenced to 15 years but got out after serving 10. Joel never drank again and would later return to the church. So that was pretty much the whole story, and I found the story very interesting. It stood out to me a lot because it grabbed my attention because when the lawyer came up with the idea to get Joel a lesser charge, at first that idea intrigued me because I had no idea that our bodies undergo fermentation similar to that of beer or alcohol. So it was very strange to me. I didn't understand how that could prove the test to be wrong. Unfortunately, that didn't help Teddy, so he ended up spending 10 years of his life in prison, which is a long time, so it's a good chunk of his life he'll never get back. Thank you. That was the whole review.